Good afternoon, MHS. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated for a moment of silence.
Coming up on this edition of MHS Rewind, we'll head to the auditorium for a look at the upcoming Thespian play, The Iliad, the Odyssey, and all of Greek mythology in 99 minutes or less. We'll go to the Fieldhouse for a report on the MSD of Martinsville's Robotics showcase, and we'll have a unique story of how one group of MHS students is paying tribute to one of their favorite teachers.
And in sports, we'll take a look at the MHS softball team and their new head coach. And we'll have a story on a brand new sport at MHS, men's volleyball. Good afternoon, MHS. I'm Blaine Maxwell.
And I'm Elias Elsner. We'll have these stories and much more next on MHS Rewind. The MHS Thespian Society is currently producing the theater department's final play of the year, and it'll also be the final high school play for several cast members and one longtime director. The MHS Thespian Society has been scrambling together the finishing touches on the Iliad, the Odyssey, and all of Greek mythology in 99 minutes or less, which, as the title suggests, covers every part of ancient Greece in a brief time span.
We will cover the Iliad, we will cover the Trojan War, we'll cover all of the Odyssey, just like you saw it in school when you learned those great epic poems.
It's got tragedies, comedies, everything in between.
Senior Riley Littell serves as the Thespian Society president, and the cast is exclusively made up of Thespian Society members.
You have to be a member of the Thespian Society. So that means that you have to have worked in and around the theater in multiple areas and have put in the time to be counted as a member.
The most difficult part of the play is juggling over 100 different Greek gods, goddesses, and heroes, all with varying amounts of dialogue.
We've never really done a show that's kind of overarching a bunch of stories together. I mean, even when we did Laramie Project, where everyone was a bunch of characters, it was one full story.
It's interesting to have to run around so much because it's not like any other show that I've done before, being 15 different characters.
As opening night and the end of the school year approach, the mostly senior cast has been reflecting on what will be the final show of their high school careers.
It's very bittersweet for me for this to be my last show because I love that it's a comedy. I absolutely love that. I have loved acting since I was 12, I think.
I've been doing stuff like this my entire time here, and so it's really hard to let go.
This will also be stage director Rick Armstrong's final show at MHS. The longtime teacher is retiring after constructing, costuming, lighting, sound directing, and in some cases starring in over 90 productions of MHS theater.
This stage is literally covered in my blood, sweat, and tears. So I guess by that token, I will always be part of the theater here at Martinsville High School.
The Iliad, the Odyssey, and all of Greek mythology in 99 minutes or less premieres in the MHS Auditorium on Friday, April 29th at 7 p.m. Other shows are Saturday at 7 and a Sunday matinee at 3. The audience is invited to come dressed as their favorite Greek god, goddess, or mythical creature, and Zeus will be leading a costume contest at the intermission of each performance.
MHS is sending 2 juniors to study abroad this summer. Destiny Neal gives us a closer look into how they got this opportunity as part of the IU's honors program.
Cassie Smith is a Year 3 French student and Colin Sears is a Year 3 Spanish student, and they both get the opportunity to go study in Europe this summer.
I'm just so excited because I did this when I was in high school and the 2 Spanish teachers also did it, so I know how life-changing it can be.
Sears is going to Ciudad Real, Spain.
I think it would be pretty nice to meet a different family, like my host family. I think it would be really fun to connect with a different culture. I think it would be pretty amazing.
Smith is going to Saumur, France.
I think Cassie is going to do amazingly in France. She's got a perfect personality for going and living with another family and making new friends. She's very outgoing and she's brave.
This is the first time in 3 years that students are actually getting to go as a part of the IU Honors Program because of COVID. Sears and Smith both say how it was a very long application process and they had to fill out a lot of different forms.
It was really cool, but it took a long time. There's a lot of applications.
They said that they were going to tell us like on a certain day, and then they didn't tell us that day. They actually waited a couple days after, so I was a little worried that they were just not going to say anything and I wouldn't get in, but whenever I got in, I was so happy.
They are both leaving in June and will be gone for about 6 weeks. For MHS Rewind, I'm Destiny Neal.
The Art Club is hard at work preparing for this year's prom. Annie Beers gives a closer look on what they're making for the special night.
Art Club member Claire Miles describes Art Club as an opportunity for self-expression.
It's been like my escape, I guess, you know, with like everything that's been going on with COVID and quarantine and everything. It's just been like that safety blanket that I could always fall back on if like I ever needed anything.
We start something and then we'll get kind of through it and then we'll like take a break, and we do a lot of volunteer work. If the school needs us to make something, we do that. But otherwise we just kind of paint arts and crafts.
Some of the club's previous projects include plaster hands, murals, and cabinet paintings. And with prom approaching, the club is piecing their current project together to make the night as memorable as possible.
Well, right now we are working on centerpieces for prom, and it's a lot of fun because like this is going to be something that we get to use as a class, and people are going to get to see it, and I'm really excited about it.
We just got done working on donation buckets that we're making for prom that we're going to kind of just pass around at like locations in Martinsville and like hope people donate, I guess, so we can raise money for prom.
The girls cherish the creative expressiveness that comes with the club, but there's an element more special that they appreciate.
Definitely the people, because they're all wacky, and I don't know, there's just a lot of fun people in it, and they all have different art styles, so it's kind of cool to walk around and see it.
They are just so fun and chill, and they're amazing to be around.
You'll be able to see the girls' work displayed at prom. For MHS Rewind, I'm Annie Beers.
The MSD of Martinsville hosted a fine art showcase last weekend at the Art Sanctuary in downtown Martinsville. Serenity Fry was there for all the highlights.
Tonight we have a fantastic show for everybody. We have kindergartners all the way through 12th graders presenting their art for everybody to see. It's a free event, and it's something we just love doing here at the Art Sanctuary, which is just a beautiful location and venue for all of us, and they offer that at absolutely no charge to us. But we in the arts community feel that it's just so important to do everything we can to bring this out for our kids and for our families. And it really gives the kids a chance to shine. Kids that are in music always get a chance to get on stage with a live audience to see and to appreciate and enjoy what they do. There's so much variety here, and it really makes you just say, wow, I cannot believe kids can do this much, but they can.
Right before spring break, the MSD of Martinsville hosted a showcase for Martinsville Robotics kids. Braxton Dilly has the story.
They have been working for a few months working on these robots at their school in small groups. Now they get to show the community what is amazing about being in robotics. This is to get kids excited about robotics, get them excited about STEM, skilled trades, all of the things that our future needs. We need to have the engineering, the science, the technology, and being able to put a robot together, working in a group, it really helps them develop those skills at a young age.
They're about robotics, it's so dang cool. I just can't describe how cool it is being with everyone else here at Bell and everyone else besides that as well. This is a really cool time to be here.
I say either building the robots or just playing the games in general.
It helps them to develop the skills of the cooperative learning, the 21st century skills that we all need and we want to have as adults. These kids have to be able to put something together, and if it doesn't work, do it again and fix it and find where the problem is, problem shoot, and have all of the, and work together in a team. I can see this not only if they want to go into an engineering, but the fact that they have to work together in a team, again, that is one of those big things that you have to learn how to do at a young age.
Morgan County was founded in 1822 and named for Captain Daniel Morgan. 200 years later, Morgan County residents preserve the 2 centuries of history in the Blackstone House in downtown Martinsville.
We officially opened June of 2021, so we've been here less than a year. Our goal is to preserve Morgan County history and heritage and to carry on legacies to keep new generations informed about our past.
My favorite part about Morgan County history is the people and the beauty of the surroundings. One thing I think that is unique about this museum as compared to maybe some others, everything here has been donated by community and members of the county.
I'm a farm girl at heart. That's my heritage. This room is, we call that our farm and railroad room. We have displayed so many of the Hoosier homestead farms that have been owned by farm families at least 100 years.
It's farm implements, old pieces of technology, Martinsville memorabilia. We have a very rich history here in Morgan County, and I think that the more that you know and understand, the more you can be proud of who you are and where you're from.
There is something here for everyone. The Joyce Hamilton Estate donated over 400 pieces of Martinsville memorabilia, advertising pencils, fall foliage fair, high school. There's a military exhibit that we're very proud of. And in working on this, putting exhibits together, I'm truly amazed at all the famous people that came from this county.
What we've learned from this museum that has filled up incredibly quickly in the last year, we just opened in June. There's some incredibly rich history throughout Martinsville and Morgan County, and there's a lot out there that we still need to get.
The Bicentennial Committee is putting on a big celebration for the year at Waverly Park in September with food, reenactments, vendors, and music. Tomlinson and the committee are also working toward an interview project known as Morgan County Memories, collecting stories from people with Morgan County connections with the hope to submit them to the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
The Artesians opened their softball season last Monday against the Franklin Central Flashes with a new head coach. Luke Cheatham has more on the game and their new leader.
The Artesians smashed 3 home runs in their season opener and dominated the Flashes 8-3.
When I was hitting, I wasn't even thinking about a single thing, you want me to be honest with you. But whenever I was rounding second, I was like, holy crap, you know, not that bad, so.
Ella Whitney was on the mound for 6 innings. The senior struck out 7 and only allowed 4 hits in the win against the Flashes. Whitney recently signed with Florida International University to continue her softball career.
I think the weather and the coaching staff, and I think the coach can really build a program around me, and that's what I was looking for.
It wasn't just the first win of the season for the Artesians. It was the first win for new head coach Kayla Britton.
It's something that I've wanted for a long time. Whenever I coached with Coach Roden, that was always kind of my plan, was to come back and take over someday when he was done. So definitely excited.
She's amazing. I think we needed her a long time ago, and she knows what she's talking about.
Britton played at Martinsville for longtime head coach Ken Roden and continued to play at Marian University for 4 years. But after graduating, she returned to Martinsville to coach under Roden, something she did for 12 years.
He was big on focusing on fundamentals, and that's one thing we do every single day in practice, is focusing on the fundamentals. Probably different little style as far as offensive goes, a little more aggressive, but otherwise I've taken a lot of what I learned from him.
And she hopes to take what she learned and turn it into a successful first season.
I definitely expect us to do well as far as making a run at conference. We have some pretty tough teams in our conference, but I feel like we're up there talent-wise just with the rest of them.
We come in with a lot more experience, so I think we're going to handle high-pressure situations better, and I'm hoping for a lot of success.
Whitney and the rest of the Artesians got a little taste of that success against the Flashes in their opener. From MHS Rewind, I'm Luke Cheatham.
Baseball opened their season with a runner-up finish at the Vincennes tournament. Devin Brenner has a closer look at how the team feels about the rest of the season.
I feel like we got more experience. We know a little more of what to expect, and our guys have been on the field now, not having been on the field a year going into it. With the whole COVID year and everything, and just more experience. We got 6 seniors that hoping to lead us. I think they've been great so far. I mean, last year Braxton carried the load for the entire team, and this year it's been all 6 of them sharing those responsibilities with the younger kids.
We definitely hit a lot better this year than we did last year, and probably the defense a little better. We had a scrimmage last week, and our at-bats were really good. We just had a couple of fielding mistakes.
And we lost Coach Bolin. We get Coach Ketchum this year. We still return Coach Baird and Coach Bunton. I'm really happy that we've got a full-time pitching coach here. Coach Farkas has been a great addition, and I think the pitchers are enjoying working with him. So it's looking pretty good there.
Yeah, definitely. We have 2 new coaches. We have Coach Ketchum and Coach Farkas. Coach Ketchum does some great BP at practice, and Coach Farkas is our new pitching coach, and having a pitching coach this year is really helping out.
MHS is making history this year with their first ever men's volleyball team, and they even hosted their first home match last night. Cole Meyer has a closer look at their coach and some of their players.
We're a good enough team that we can get balls up, and if we...
Boys head coach Hezekiah Karlstrom has been around volleyball his whole life. His dad coached the girls team at his high school, and Karlstrom coached girls volleyball at the academy in Indianapolis. But he's never coached boys until now.
So I wanted to try my hand at coaching guys, but in a sport that I know, and so I talked to Kip and we got it started.
Once the idea had been started, MHS needed players, and they were able to get enough for both a JV and varsity team.
I decided to play volleyball because it piqued my interest at first, and I like to play with friends. They wanted me to play, so in my free time it gives me something to do to have fun and learn more about volleyball really in general.
I like how volleyball brings out a whole team aspect. Everyone has to do their part, and if one person's not doing their part, then it really just, everything just starts crashing down.
None of the players had ever played organized volleyball outside of gym class. So for expectations in the program's first year, Coach Karlstrom just wants to see some growth.
And you can't just come into a sport and expect to kill it right away. I would love to see that happen, and I think we have a shot at it. But just seeing growth in them and seeing them being able to come in and learn something without getting super frustrated, but still picking up the skills.
For the players, they just want to win some games.
At the beginning of the year, my goal was to win a game, but so far we've had a scrimmage, we went to a tournament, and I think a good goal for us is to go 500. I think if we can get to 500, that would be a good starting mark for this program, and then from years to come, we can build on it.
The team travels to Avon next Thursday, and then they're back at home on the 25th to take on Monrovia. For MHS Rewind, I'm Cole Meyer.
Girls tennis is back in the swing of things this spring. Levi Suter gives us a closer look at what the team has to offer this year.
The girls tennis team this year has 6 new players. On top of that, head coach Brannigan Hewitt is on maternity leave. So, senior captain Katie Fulkerson and assistant coach Mike Johnson have some big shoes to fill for the rest of this season.
I would say I'm looking forward to practice with my teammates and the new girls on the team and the other 2 seniors, Alyssa and Lauren.
So we're hoping that they'll just learn the fundamentals and try to build the program up. We've got 3 good seniors that have been good role models so far to the younger girls.
The flexibility of returning players is another huge key for the team. The ability to flip the switch between singles and doubles comes easy for juniors Ainsley Louder and Kate Collins.
Stayed calm and remembered all the rules in between singles and doubles and tried to acclimate myself as well as possible to the situation that I was in.
You just have to make sure you know to talk to your partner, but when playing singles, you have to make sure you are playing it within the singles bounds and not in the doubles alley.
The girls had their first match on Tuesday against B&L and have another match tonight against Bloomington South at MHS. The girls all agree there's a lot to look forward to for the rest of the season.
I'm really looking forward to making memories with my teammates. One of our seasons got cut short because of COVID, so I'm excited to make more memories with them.
And I really hope to become a better player and a more well-rounded player so I can switch between singles and doubles if I really need to.
For MHS Rewind, I'm Levi Suter.
The boys track team opened their season last week. Silas McFarland gives us a closer look at their top sprinter and their top distance runner.
Dylan Roden is a sprinter for the MHS boys track team. He runs the 100 meter and the 200 meters and was a part of the 4x1 team that made it to the state meet last year.
State was an experience that I will never forget in my lifetime. It was definitely something that was a big moment for sports.
And he's looking forward to running in regionals and having a chance of making it back to state this season.
It's just really exciting to hear the news of whether you're going to move on or not. You know, it's probably the most exciting meet of the year, to be honest with you, is because you get that intensity. You know, you're competing for state. You're either going home or you're going big.
What do you think of Dylan? You think of somebody who works extremely hard at practice, and that transfers over into the meets. He tries to do what's right because he does want to be the best person out there.
Luke Moskrip is the head coach of the boys. But someone who has really impacted Roden throughout his whole high school career is Coach Dave Contreras, who coached the 4x1 teams for many years.
It's one of the best coaching I've ever experienced. It's from him, and I mean, everything that he's taught me and everything that I am today is because of him. I mean, the way my running form is, from that to how I get the baton and go to the finish line. I mean, he's really helped out throughout my whole high school career.
While Roden runs in sprinting events, sophomore Martin Barco wants to take a different route and compete in longer distance races.
I want to run the 3200, the 1600, and I want to do some relay events like the 4x400 with the team.
This is Barco's first year of running track, but he ran cross country this year and made it all the way to semi-state.
It's a good opportunity to get out here and continue running, and I wanted to see what I could accomplish this year, and all my friends run, so I thought I'd give it a go.
Although he ran cross country, track gives a different perspective for races.
Well, the events in track are all shorter than the races in cross country, so I'm gonna have to adjust to the shorter races, but hopefully keep my training mileage up so I can continue to do well.
Barco is ready to compete and has set some important goals for the season.
I hope to win a few races, and I just want to have fun in general. I mean, it's a great sport. Keep running.
He also wants to make it past sectionals and back onto some places that he is familiar with from cross country. Regionals, and hopefully on to state. For MHS Rewind, I'm Silas McFarland.
The girls' track team opened their season with a win last Thursday. Dylan Roden has more on their goals for the season.
The girls' track team is off to a great start this season. They got a win over Edgewood and Brown County in their season opener. Everyone is healthy and ready to go as the girls have high goals to achieve this season.
I would love to break my 400 time in the 4x4. I would love to get under 60 seconds. I also want to break our 4x4 record again.
Definitely, I want to break my long jump PR for sure because I got 17.6.75 last year, and the record is 17.7.75. So if I can get that extra inch, I'll break the school record. I definitely want to beat my 400.
I really want to PR in my 300 hurdles again and in the 4x1, and I'm hoping to break both the 300 hurdles and 4x1 school records this year, and I think I can due to only being a couple seconds off of both.
In order for the girls to reach their goals, they have to develop a good practice routine to stay consistent.
Well, first we take a lap or 2 laps, and then we warm up with the team, like some dynamic stretches, and then some form running, A skips, B skips, that type of thing. And then we do some basic on-the-ground stretching.
Hannah Reuter, Holly Reuter, and Maddie Moskrip all had a successful year last year. Moskrip made it to regionals in the 4x100 meter relay.
My experience at regionals was, I thought there wasn't going to be as many teams as there was, and when I got there, it made me really nervous, especially being a freshman, and then you get into like the heats. But I think overall it was a really fun experience, and I can't wait to go back.
Hannah Reuter made it to state in the 400-meter race, the 4x400-meter relay, and long jump.
It was super exciting, and I'm glad that I know what to expect now for this year, but it was something I'll never forget, and it's been my goal since freshman year, so it was a super cool experience.
Holly Reuter also made it to the state meet in the 4x400-meter relay.
It was invigorating. It was very scary and nerve-wracking. It's a much different atmosphere than any other meet, obviously. It's much more crowded.
The girls are back in action tomorrow at Bloomington South at 5:30. For MHS Rewind, I'm Dylan Roden.
The golf team is back on the course preparing for their upcoming season. Loud and McFarland talked to some of their players and assistant coach about expectations for this year's team and how the weather has impacted this year's season.
Well, it's springtime, and you know, it's some years you've got better weather than others, and we understand that we play an outside sport, so we've just got to adjust to that. We haven't had great weather. We've had a few nice days here and there. It's been cold for the most part, but hasn't been too rainy. Just a little bit windy and cold.
Well, when it's colder out, you know, it's a little harder to hit the ball. You know, you get less feel, and also the wind plays a big factor a lot of times.
It really hasn't changed much in what we've done. We haven't had too many days where we couldn't get out here.
I think it's gonna be a pretty good year. I think we're playing a lot of us playing some pretty good golf. There's definitely a lot of things we need to improve, but for the most part, I think we're doing a pretty good job.
Pretty high hopes. I hope I can reach them. I hope my team wants to reach them just as much as I want to as well.
We should have a team to where guys are going to have to compete for spots. So I expect that our competition, our competitiveness will be a lot higher this year.
And finally this afternoon, what started off as a joke in a slide presentation 2 years ago in John Kirtland's sophomore English class has snowballed into a sort of surrealist art project that has, at one time or another, had installments in every corner of the school. Gabe O'Neill found the man responsible for it, Thomas Ruley, and trapped him in the music department dressing room for an exclusive interview.
We went to AD and swim coach, Jonathan Kirtland, and we thought, he already gets annoyed by us probably. Why not push it a step further? And thus began the cult of the great Kirtland.
I actually enjoy it. I think it's hysterical. I think it's funny. The students who are the ones doing it, I know them personally, had them in class. It kind of started as a small joke in class that has developed into something much grander and bigger. I think one of the first ones I would say that I really enjoyed was, it actually came out of that year, but not by that group. It was the communist Kirtland, the picture of the, you know, me as a communist. I thought that was funny. Then the Kirtland giving Mr. Perry a haircut. That one was a grand one. Spartan Kirtland, always good. Super buff Kirtland, that was fine. Then there was just the Wallow John. Starts off as one picture, and then it just keeps growing and growing.
It was a little weird at first, but it started coming up last year in the midst of COVID stuff, and it was kind of, oh look, the kids still have energy and life and happiness. So, you know, it's always a little weird when we change trimesters and people are like, why do you have all those pictures on your wall? And then I just have to shrug and say, I don't know. And then we just move on.
If I could see John right now, our great man in the sky, I'd say to him two things. I'm sorry, and praise Kirtland.
That'll wrap things up for this edition of MHS Rewind. For Blaine Maxwell and the rest of the RTV2 class, I'm Elias Elsner.
Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and remember to enjoy the ride.